So you got into the Talking to Todd NCAA pool last week. Was that the only pool you were able to get into last week?
That is so not funny. I mean, actually, that's really funny, but also not funny.
Welcome to Talking to Todd, weekly podcast with Dwayne Johnson and Todd Friends. They can't all be winners. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Apropos of nothing we've talked about so far, but if you happen to know of a licensed gas contractor that could hook up what is a brand new 6-month-old pool heater, and they would like a trip to the undisclosed location, just let me know. Yeah. And what is a brand new 6-month-old pool heater? It's exactly what you think it is. So anyway, if you have anybody in mind, just 515, also CPA. Yep.
It's not just to the undisclosed location, it's home afterwards, right?
I mean, it's negotiable. Sure. Yeah.
You can't tell anybody. You can't tell anybody where the undisclosed location is. But
right.
Yes.
Right.
Well, yes.
But
we'll work it out.
We'll get you back. We'll get you back somewhere. Luckily, I'm not bitter. That's the key to this whole thing, is just not being bitter.
I mean, we've established that you're within driving distance of Las Vegas. So we're going to fly you to Vegas and then blindfold you and take you to the undisclosed location to repair, install, assemble,
whatever,
something.
Some months old brand new equipment. Yes.
Right. Yes.
Here's the weird part.
Yeah.
Here's the really weird part about all of that, though. Once you fly in, you're like, okay, that sounds a little weird, though, right? You're going to fly into an airport, then you're going to blindfold me. Trust me, when you fly into Las Vegas airport and then you put a blindfold on, nobody bats an eye, because you're not exactly the only one that's wearing a blindfold leaving or returning to the Las Vegas airport. It's not that big a deal.
No.
And you've been to Vegas, you know what I'm talking about, Dwayne.
Yeah, I did. That doesn't even raise any. That doesn't even scratch the surface.
TSA doesn't even bat an eye. They're just like,
nope. Yeah,
sir, can you remove your hat? The blindfold too? No, you can leave that on.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Huh, must be Thursday.
Whoa! Wait, sir, stop. Oh, is the blindfold a problem now? No. Do you have a Snickers in that bag? Because if you do, we got to pull you out of line. We got to go talk to you.
Full bottle of water. Full bottle of water's going nowhere. Blindfold, you're fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Look where we're at. We're a year into this now, but look at this. We're starting to make travel jokes again. You know what? Things are getting better. And you know what? We have this narrow window to make travel jokes right before you start traveling again extensively for work, because once you start traveling a lot for work and we start making those jokes, the cold open, it's going to switch. Hey, Dwayne, how's your bottle of water doing? I don't want to talk about it, dude. It's funny, but I don't want to talk about it.
So,
by the way, let me just, as long as we're doing this, as long as we're telling travel stories, right? Fine, whatever. We were bored. We were in Shanghai, and we were getting ready to board a 15-hour flight from Shanghai to Chicago. Yep. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get myself, they had at the gate, they had people selling liter-sized bottles of water at the gate. Now, you're already past security, right? So they literally came around with a cart selling big bottles of water. And my thought is, this is a 15-hour flight. I may want to hydrate. I will buy 2 bottles of water, one for me, one for Lisa. Multiple people did. Then they call us up and you start boarding and they scan your ticket and you go down the jetway, and at the door of the aircraft is another person with a big trash bag saying, you can't take those bottles of water on the plane. And they were collecting the bottles of water they were selling at the gate, saying that can't come on the plane. My assumption is those trash bags were now being recycled to the next people getting on the flight. They only own 20 bottles of water, and they just keep reselling them. Anyway,
This
I
one
know we have
open?
plenty
Nope.
yeah.
We can resell that. This one open? Yep. Okay, that one's gone. This one open? Nope. We can resell that.
Well, come on. This is Shanghai, right? If you get 2 unopened ones, you fill one up for the other, you put the bottle on and call it. Anyway, that's fine. This was 2009, so I'm sure everything is much better since then. So anyway, this isn't the travel story one, but as long as we're talking about, anyway. All right. Is that the show? Are we done? No. Okay. Sorry.
So we started out with me asking you about the NCAA pool.
Yes.
The Talking to Todd bracket. Have you looked at the standings since the first weekend?
I looked after all the second round games finished. Yes. But here's what I remember. I'm not first, but I know who's last.
By a bunch.
Yeah. You've got that. You've got the cellar. You own it. Like you. Yeah.
Well, and so here's the thing. We've got the pool, which Katie Caggiano is far and away. She is 4 points ahead of Mark Jansen, one of my reffing buddies, and you're in third place at 36.
Yes.
Now, with each subsequent round, the points get better with every game that you get right.
You know what you sound like right now? I mean, seriously, you sound like a 70s game show host. With each round, the points double and your chances to win the big prize go up. Let's see what's on the big board today.
Don Pardo, tell him what he's won. Oh, so followed by...
I'll take Jamie Farr to block. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I don't...
But you in third place have picked Gonzaga.
Yes.
Who is still in.
Which increases my chances.
It does. And also, if you look at the next column of maximum points available,
I'm doing very well there.
You are in first place in terms of maximum points available.
So at this point, if I don't mess it up, and by mess it up, there's nothing I can do to change it. I still have a shot at winning this, is what you're telling me.
That's what I'm telling you. And I picked Illinois.
As did like half of our bracket, right? Or half of our group?
4 of the 10 picked Illinois.
All right.
1 picked Iowa.
Oof. Okay.
1 picked Kansas.
Oof. Okay.
And 4 of us picked Illinois. So I don't have the lowest max points available. So there is a possibility that I could not finish last.
You know what? I believe in you. I think you can pull this out. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what that means. You take that however you want.
The other thing that's going on here is Mark Jansen and Alan Dries, who are my reffing partners, are both in this pool. And we have a side bet. Whoever finishes lowest among the 3 of us has to buy the other 2 dinner when we can finally go out to dinner again once we all get vaccinated and things open back up. The stakes are high. And I know that they won't just be ordering steak. Whatever the most expensive thing on the menu is, I'm pretty sure that that's what they're going to be ordering.
Okay, so wait. The loser has to buy... You said the loser has to buy dinner, right?
For the other 2.
For the other 2. And I'm sorry, did you say where? Or is that part of the bet?
Maybe it's my choice. We may be going to Dairy Queen.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Arby's.
Are they a sponsor?
They were the sponsor of the pre-show. And if anybody has any questions, if anybody has a question about that, just reach out to Sarah and she can share the details of that.
Toddler -18 can fill you in on why Arby's is the sponsor of the pre-show, because there's a story that we can't tell on the air.
Seriously, now we're doing jokes for individual listeners. This is handcrafted, well, jokes in quotes, handcrafted
relative
quote,
term.
unquote, comedy, right? Just for look, it's one person, but they're gonna like it.
We did that last week. We did that the week before. Oh, so anyway, update. We'll see how this coming weekend goes. Yeah.
By the way, just in case is it too late to get into the brackets?
If you've got a better bracket than me, yes, sorry, it's too late. If you have a worse bracket than me that would like to, enter and make me feel better, you're more than welcome to join in. So, no, yeah, probably too late to join in.
Okay, I was just checking. I, just want to make sure how that's, because we seem to be behind. We're behind on all of these, right? Is it too late to do the America's Cup bracket? Is it too late? I was just making sure for where we're at. So, okay. Yeah.
We're not doing a special Sweet 16 bracket or anything. No, even though we're recording on Wednesday night this week, and so would have a little extra time for me to get the podcast out. We may be plus Friday this week.
Ooh. And here's the great thing about you being the editor. If it comes out before Friday, that comment stays in. If it comes out after Friday, that comment never happened as far as anybody's concerned.
Unless one of us screws up and does a callback to it later in the show, forcing me to leave it in.
That's not a screw up. That's not a screw up. That's one of the things I bring to this. Find the most obscure, ridiculous thing at the beginning of the show that Dwayne wants to cut and just drop in a reference later to make sure that he can't cut it out. You're the editor. You make your choices.
Cut all of it. Leave all of it. There you go. Okay, let's see. Where were we? Additional... Toddler number 1. Feedback from toddler number 1 on last week's show.
Yes.
Did you say that was shorter? Because it didn't feel shorter.
My thought is, oh, so that felt really long to you too. Okay, good. Well, we that may not be what we intended, but we felt that. So, that's good. At least we know where our audience is.
We've said this for a year now. They can't all be winners. And when you throw a clunker every now and then, it just makes you appreciate when we do a really good show. I can't remember whether I was watching something or reading something, or maybe you told me this about a guy that did a radio show at 3:00 every day. And when he started, he was really, really worried about being a perfectionist and every word in the right spot, and poring over it. And you get to 3:00 and you do the show, and you get to 4:00, and you know what you got?
You got 23 hours till your next show.
That's right. And you can't worry about it. And you just got to keep right on moving, which also made him not worry quite so much about the 23 hours. And you do the absolute best show you can do, and sometimes they're great and sometimes they're not.
But either way, there's another show coming.
That's right. The treadmill keeps running. We are going live at 3 p.m. one way or the other. So anyway, yeah, last week, whatever. It is what it is. But at one point, she compared it to the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. and wasn't sure which was going to end first.
Okay, look, we recorded an hour and a half, and you cut 50% of it, and it was only 48 minutes. That Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League is like 4 hours long.
And 2 minutes. Don't forget the 2 minutes.
Okay, I was like, at 4 hours long and 2 minutes. And you're telling me that that Amy is saying, I may rather watch 4 hours and 2 minutes. Oh, you know what? They're also going to release a version of it in black and white for reasons I'm not even clear on. Yeah, yes, it's the Zack Snyder cut in black and white. Whatever. This is nuts. So you can watch all of that or 48 minutes of us. You know what? That's fine. You know what you could do is you could release the Zack Snyder cut of last week's show, which is put all that crap back in. Just put it all back in.
You thought 48 minutes seemed long.
Wait
Buckle up.
Get a load of this.
Grab your rattles, toddlers. Here we go. Oh, nobody needs that. Really, nobody. That was pretty much it for feedback from toddler number 1. Greg found toddler number 17. Greg, hi. We were talking about all these different streaming channels.
Yep.
He has a Samsung TV that is connected to the internet, and he has all of these Samsung special channels.
Ooh.
Including the Baywatch channel. All Baywatch, all the time. As well as the Bob Ross channel. All Bob Ross, all happy little trees, all the time.
I'm thinking what would be much more interesting is if you combine those and alternated the episodes. 1 hour of Baywatch, 30 minutes of Bob Ross. 1 hour of Baywatch, 30 minutes of Bob Ross. It sort of brings you up with all the excitement and then brings it back down. We're going to be painting some trees here. And then back to Baywatch.
They're running. Oh, they're painting trees.
Yeah. So somebody's listening to this podcast.
Yes.
So this weekend I go into my smart TV and I'm trying to add, I have a Roku TV and I'm trying to add, what am I trying to add into it? HBO Max into the Roku TV app. And so I go into suggested applications. Do you know? And I was adding 2 things. I was adding HBO Max and Paramount Plus were the 2 that I needed to add to the Roku because the Apple TV just is not working well. Do you know what app in the suggested apps my Roku TV suggested that I install before those 2?
I'm going to guess Tubi.
Tubi. Yep. What? Are you conspiring? Yep. And I was like, 2 days ago, I'd never heard of this. And now my smart TV is like, you're going to want some of this. Anyway. So apparently my Roku TV is listening to the podcast.
We going to count those listens?
Sure. Right. You know, we're big in the Roku TV demographic.
Feedback from Sarah. The Urban Dictionary defines mushing as when you get drunk and your words are all slurred and you can't understand them and they're all mushed together. That's mushing. So then fantasy mushing.
Ooh, that could go one of 2 ways.
Right?
Either.
Yes.
Yeah. Although that would kind of be like if you were drunk and slurring your words and then reading Sarah's book. That
would be fantasy mushing?
Yeah,
yes,
fantasy. There's a dragon came through in it. No, it's anyway.
And because I went to Urban Dictionary to look this up, thanks to, again, Toddler 18, Negative 18, Sarah Johnson Brown,
your corporate IT department now has some questions about some suspicious activity.
They they do. Let's see. How about you? Do you have any feedback or follow up?
No feedback, just a little bit of follow up. 1 or 2 episodes ago, we discussed how a former first round draft pick of the Ravens was traded to the Miami Dolphins with a 7th round pick for a 7th round pick. They literally just literally swapped picks and said, "Here, take this guy."
Yeah.
Yeah, he was released this week by the Miami Dolphins.
Who takes the cap hit for that?
I can't. That's a good question. My thought is you're the Dolphins and you're going, look, how bad could this guy possibly be? You know what?
Come to find out,
all it's going to cost us is, you know what? All we're going to do is swap 7th round draft picks. It's not going to cost us that much. How bad could this possibly? Oh, that bad. Please leave. Holy cow, leave. And the funny thing is, it's funny to us, not to this guy. He hasn't been in the league a year yet. The draft happened in May. So he managed to completely piss off one team throughout the season. He is getting better at something else. They held on to him for an entire season. The second team had him for 1 week and went, "Oh, I see why you offered him to us. Thank you very much. There's the door." So, yeah. Anyway, so there's some follow up in case anybody was wondering what happened. They got everything they needed out of that pick.
After last week's follow up, one more quick thing here. After last week's feedback from the Educated Idiots, I think we're going to issue a podcast challenge to the Educated. Ooh,
it's getting serious.
We're throwing it serious now, right?
I'm just envisioning you. When you're a jet. Sorry, I know I was instructed no singing. Sorry.
Because I'm bad.
You know what people are missing on this audio podcast is you and I are both doing the choreography for the respective songs, which is as bad and horrendous as you would think. I mean, we're doing the right ones, but it's bad. Anyway, sorry, please continue. I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see where this goes.
Maybe not. Let's see whether or not this even stays in. Let's try this segment, see if it goes any better. The podcast challenge to the Educated Idiots to either come on our show or alternatively we go on theirs, though our podcast tends to run for about an hour and theirs is only about half of that typically. Anyway, to make an appearance on Talking to Todd, do a crossover episode and explain to us why exactly DJ To Go is the 5-star DJ for the Cedar Valley region, because we aren't convinced whether this is a thing or not. But I'm sure a live explanation of that would be appreciated or something.
Now, if we were doing a true crossover event, sort of Station 19 Grey's Anatomy style, what we would do is
those are the 2 shows that you pick. Of all of the crossover shows in history, you pick Station 19 and Grey's Anatomy. Okay, sure. Yeah, that seems about right.
Here's the reason why. I'm responsible for making sure that stuff is recorded into the cloud DVR. And every time there's a crossover event, if the other show isn't marked for recording, then you miss the episode. And then it is, Todd, where's Station 19 this week? I'm like, you don't watch that. Well, there was a crossover event. So yes, I know about those. Yes.
Sorry.
What we should do, the way that you really sell this is we go on each other's show, right? And on one of them, we tell all the jokes with none of the punchlines. And then his other show, that's the show, right? It's all the jokes.
The show.
Yeah, it's
every
show,
week.
yeah,
That's the show.
Right,
it's none of the punchlines.
Right.
Yes.
So it's all the jokes, quote unquote jokes, with none of the punchlines. Then we go to their show, and then it's nothing but punchlines. And the cool thing is we don't even have to do them in order. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure thing, where we just throw out the punchlines and the end of stories, and then you can connect them to whatever one you think is the funniest ending to that story.
The Aristocrats.
That's what the lizard said. Anyway.
So I said to the man, I said, look.
All right, we'll work on that, and we'll
work on that.
The trick, though, is for that to work, there's a lot of cross promotion involved. Like you got to build it up over weeks and weeks so that everybody can download the podcast and because you want to record it, because otherwise you miss out on the good stuff. So
I think that maybe ought to cover it. Main topics. What do we know?
Oh, let's see. Oh, there's a lot of sports in here. Wow. Okay. I will point out, and this can be edited. Last week we discussed we should probably get the opening, feedback, and follow-up down under 15 minutes, and we're now at 36.
We had a lot of other stuff that was there.
Oh my God.
There were sidebars.
Yeah.
There were rabbit holes. There was a lot of stuff.
There were planes launched off of planes that had to land in order. Yeah. Let's see. Here's a very quick Todd's Tech Corner.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, T-Mobile sent out a small press release letting everybody know, if you're a T-Mobile customer, that starting near the end of April, they're going to start selling your browsing history, your data, and information that they collect off of your phone, like what other applications you use, where you go, all of that. They're going to start selling that to advertisers, unless you go in and opt out, because they can. And they think this is really going to improve their service. And most customers are going to want all of their data sold to T-Mobile's customers. So just a quick heads up, if you want to, if you want to opt out, there you go. Now, two things. One, most people might go, that didn't get a lot of, like, I didn't hear about that. Yes, that was by design. They just quiet press release.
Friday news dump?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, hey, by the way, small change in our privacy policy. You have none. It's much easier to read now. Click privacy policy. What's privacy? Thanks. Number two is, I don't know who else is listening. Do you want to take a guess as to what my cell phone carrier of choice is?
Does it start with T and end with mobile?
Ding, ding, ding. Yes. So this might be a very narrow Todd's Tech Corner at this point.
Because you're no longer searching for anything on your phone, or pretty much. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Just as by the way, this is just a public service from Todd's Tech Corner. If you have T-Mobile and you have a family plan, and you have, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 lines, if you want to opt out, they've made it very convenient. You can't opt out the account. The opt-out is line by line. So you have to go into every line that you have on your account. And the opt-out isn't a single, it's not a single opt-out. You have to opt out of multiple things and then go back out and then go into the next line and then opt that line out. Because, realistically, look, I may not want them selling all of my data, but, hey, Lindsay wants to be mentioned more in this. Lindsay may be like, hey, cool, let them sell my data. So, anyway, so if you're going to opt out, set aside some time on your calendar. It's not easy to find. They don't make it super clear of how to do it. and it's buried under multiple menus, and you have to go line by line and do it. Other than that, though, they think this is a great opportunity for their customers that they're really excited about, for them to earn more revenue. So anyway, there's a Todd's Tech Corner, whatever we call this. Yeah.
I had I guess it was a text exchange with Verizon over the last week to try to figure.
That's nobody has communication with their cell carrier for if you ever find yourself having a communication with your cell phone carrier, you're having a bad day and it's about to get significantly worse. So please go ahead.
So I was driving, and I had about 20 minutes. And so we've been talking for quite a while, actually, about whether or not I should upgrade my iPhone 8 to anything.
Something current. Sorry. Yes.
Right. Yes. And Amy's iPhone 8 Plus. And so I reached out to Verizon and talked to somebody while I was driving, but because I was driving, I couldn't take notes or anything. But we're having this discussion. And so he then texted me the results of the investigation that we did. I can, at this point, and again, we've talked about this a little bit before. They're going to give me way more money than my iPhone 8 is worth to get me into another phone so that I pay them more, right? But right now I can get an iPhone 12 for like $10 a month.
To be honest, it's for 144 months, but that's a hell of a deal at the monthly rate. We're running your phone financing through Rocket Mortgage. We've got some really good 30-year rates on phones right now.
For just $10 a month, you're good. No, don't worry about it. No, actually, 24 months, $10 a month, $240 for the iPhone 12. And if Amy got a 12, the screen real estate on her 8 Plus is 5.5 inches diagonally.
Yes.
And the screen real estate on the 12 regular,
yes,
is 6.1.
Yes.
And it's a smaller form. It's a smaller phone by like a half an inch.
The phone is smaller and the screen is bigger by 0.6 inches.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, she's like, really? Like, yep, that's how that's going to work. Really? Yep. For $10 a month. Really? Okay, well, let's think about it. It's now been 4 days and we haven't done anything about it. But we've been busy. We've been, watching RuPaul. So anyway, sorry. I don't know whether any of that is staying in, but we were talking about cell phones in Tech Corner, and I actually thought $10 a month. And I can actually go to the unlimited plan for Lucas and Amy and I for an extra $10 a month.
And I think 5G, whatever. 5G is only available on the higher level plans, and you can get it with the 12.
Yes.
If you're standing on the right corner in the 6 cities that they've turned it on.
Right. Yeah. Here in the middle of Iowa, I don't know that we have or have any plans in the near future to have a 5G tower, let alone towers constituting a network.
Oh, no, we got the one by the Verizon store. Right, show you how fast it is.
Yeah, that's right. Before you walk 30 feet away and it goes back to 4G. Whatever. Anyway, yes. Okay. So I wonder if Verizon's selling my data.
Verizon and AT&T sell some of your data. T-Mobile wasn't, but they basically looked at what Verizon and AT&T were doing and said, hold my beer because I'm going all in. So Verizon and AT&T sell what they say is anonymized data, which is ridiculous because if you look at any bit of data, it takes almost nothing to figure out. Like it takes almost nothing to de-anonymize the data. Supposedly, they aren't doing anything to the level that T-Mobile is saying that they're going to do now. So you should be able to opt out of some of the Verizon and AT&T stuff if you want to as well. But
I think I probably have. Which one of these do we want to do before we? What do you think?
Well, let me just. This one is tech related and sports related. So it's going to move us from Todd's Tech Corner and just slide us right into sports.
Okay. Do we need to sound like a warning bell or something for someone?
Well, I think as soon as I said sports, I think that pretty well covered that.
Okay.
International soccer or football giant Manchester United has, as you know, in the rest of the world, all the football teams have sponsors on the front of the jersey, right? Like the sponsor has the biggest logo and the club usually has the smallest logo, right?
Yeah. Yes, because Chelsea's sponsored by the number 3.
Yes.
And some weeks by the letters A and Q. I don't know.
I didn't know the letter 3 had that much, or the letter. I didn't know that the number 3 had that much money.
No, actually, they're sponsored by the letters D and Q. That's where the joke is. I screwed it up to begin with, but I eventually found the funny. Sponsored by the letters D and Q. There you go. Sorry.
So Man United, which is one of the largest clubs in the world, one of the most valuable sports franchises in the world. Since 2014, the sponsor on the front of their shirt, Dwayne, of course, is
Emirates.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. You were close. Chevrolet.
It's a transportation company.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Do I get half a point?
You know what?
No.
I feel like you need it, so sure.
It still doesn't drag me out of the last place in the NCAA bracket.
I was going to say at this point I could give you 4. I could say it's worth 4 more wins in the bracket, and you're still in last place. But that's okay. You know, you'll get them back when you get to the final. Oh wait, you won't.
Hey.
Okay. So as we established,
sorry. So yes, yes, transportation.
Okay. So Chevrolet.
Yeah. Yes. That's where we were. Sorry.
Is the official shirt sponsor since 2014 of Manchester United. Do you want to take a guess as to how much per year they pay to be on the front of the shirt of one of the largest football clubs in the world? And if you can give it to me in pounds, that would be great because I haven't done the conversion.
Is it in the millions of pounds per year?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay. Is it more than the millions of pounds per year?
What I will tell you is you are in the 8-digit range.
Okay. So it's hundreds of millions, but not yet a billion. Tens of millions of dollars. $65 million a year? Pounds. 65 million pounds a year.
Oh, you were close. 64 million pounds a year.
Are we playing Price is Right rules?
Yeah, we are. So you went over. Sorry. We should have gone a pound. Yeah. And right now, given the pound, that's 87, almost $88 million a year they pay to put the Chevy bow tie on the front of the shirt. But that deal is coming to a close, so they had to go out and find somebody else. And this is how we tied into Todd's Tech Corner. They found a global technology company to take the place of to use the synergy of their branding as a global technology leader and Manchester United and bring these two great brands together. Do you want to take a guess as to what global technology leader will now be the shirt sponsor for Man United moving forward? And by the way, you will never guess them.
Can I let's try BlackBerry.
No, but good guess. I don't think BlackBerry.
Nokia.
Oh, that'd have been even better. Yeah. Actually, if the two of them combined together. Nope, but you're doing pretty well.
Am I on the right path?
Yeah, sort of. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you one more guess. Although you might want to pick somebody who's actually in business, but that's fine.
IBM.
It's questionable whether they're in business either, but no. Good guess.
Actually, Nokia is back in business,
and so is BlackBerry. Yes,
and so is BlackBerry.
I mean, Nokia got bought, and then Microsoft wrote off the entire. They wrote it off. They wrote off $8 billion or whatever, and then Nokia came back and said, "We're making phones again." That's a heck of a deal. No, the global tech giant TeamViewer is now the shirt sponsor.
Is that TEEN? Teen Viewer?
Oh, no. That's something else. No, Team. TEAM.
Because I'm not Googling that.
Oh, no. Holy crap. Wow. Nope.
Whoa.
The BBC is going to have a problem with this.
Boy, is enunciation key in this.
We're going to give you a pronunciation guide to go along with the shirt, and we're going to need you to be very, very clear about how you say this.
Teamviewer.com. Whoa, no. Oh,
that's
Lord.
Corporate IT on line 2. It's weird.
Aren't you corporate IT?
What? Who? What?
Oh, sorry. TeamViewer. What exactly does TeamView do?
Well, see, this is obviously why they now have decided to spend £47 million a year because nobody knows who they are. So look, we're talking about them here, right? Like boom, there's some money right off the top that they're just getting for this. They are a German company that does remote desktop software. So, a company, yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. And apparently they have £47 million a year to spend on advertising to put on the front of Manchester United shirt for an entire worldwide audience to go. Two things. One, who are they? And two, spell that correctly when you look it up.
What is it that you say you do here? Followed by, I don't want to buy anything sold or made. I don't want to make anything bought or sold. I just basically want to hang with your daughter for a while.
That's getting, I understand that's a movie reference, but that's getting really close to the other one. So let's be careful here.
Okay. Yes. Fair. That's fair. Fair point. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. There is sports and technology coming together. I also will point out that I will also point out that that Man United's losing £17 million a year on this deal after the Chevrolet money goes away because TeamViewer is paying them a lot less. So apparently being on the front of the shirt isn't worth as much anymore. So anyway, by the way, we talked about the NCAA pools. Did you see the NCAA made a few little, I don't know, missteps this week when it came to the basketball tournaments?
I think the word disparity was thrown around a lot. Is that what you might be referring to?
Well, I think when the picture went up of the state-of-the-art weight rooms that were made for the men's basketball teams, because they're all in a bubble and they're not allowed to go anywhere. But if you want to work out, we've given you state-of-the-art equipment and everything else. And for the women who are also in a bubble and who are also not allowed to go anywhere, they were given, as one of the players or coaches mentioned, quote, a yoga mat and 12 dumbbells and call it good. But what was better about that, right? Like at that point, like the NCAA isn't even trying, right? They're not even trying, right? Because did you hear what their original excuse was? because there were multiple. So you're trying to figure out which one was the original
Yeah,
one.
which one was the original one? But yeah, go ahead. I was stuck on. Go ahead. Yes.
So the first one, this was great, was this is all housed in the San Antonio Convention Center, right?
Yeah.
Where all this is. And the NCAA said, well, we were going to set up really nice weight room for them, but we didn't know if there would be room in a convention center.
I've been in that building multiple times. Yeah. It goes on forever. I mean, it's no New Orleans, but it's really big.
And I'm guessing right now it's probably not heavily booked for other conventions.
It is Texas, but it is really empty. Yes. Yeah.
So they put this in a convention center and put in a yoga mat and 12 dumbbells and then said, we didn't think that there was going to be enough room. That was bad. But leave it to the NCAA to go, you think that was bad? Hold on. I can make it so much worse. Because then did you hear what the president of the NCAA then said to try to clean up that mess? He thought that, I don't know, did you hear his statement?
No.
Oh God. He thought this was going to help. This is the beautiful part about this. When asked, Mark Emmert, anyway, whatever. Mark, when asked, he defended, and I'm doing this from memory right now, but he defended them and saying they never intended for that space to be a weight room. They weren't intending on giving the women a weight room. It was supposed to be a fitness area. So it really wasn't a problem because it was never intended to be what the men had. This guy's president of the NCAA.
Not helping. Stop. Mark, stop digging. Stop.
I'm just imagining him on a Zoom meeting saying this and a lawyer launching himself across the desk, tackling the computer and the Ethernet cable and like ripping it out as he goes, well, we never intended it for it to be the same thing that the men had. Boom, gone. Technical difficulties. But then it gets even worse for the NCAA. Again, at this point, they're not even trying, right? Like they're not even going for parity. Like, look, it's all about the money. They just can't say that because if they say it's all about the money, then they got to start paying the athletes, and they don't want to do that.
Nope.
Let me ask you this. And this is, this is a trap question. But anytime on this podcast, I say, let me ask you this, it's a trap and you're walking into a trap, but this isn't exactly a trap. What does the phrase March Madness cover?
It covers the men's tournament only?
It depends. If you look at the trademark application that the NCAA has filed as owners of it, it covers the men's and the women's tournament. So as far they are allowed, they trademarked both. However, it came out this week that the NCAA does not allow the Women's Basketball Committee to use March Madness. Do you know instead what is put on for all of the women's tournament games? Do you know what is on the floor of each of those? On the men's, there's the March Madness logo. Do you know what it says on the floor of every women's, at the site of every women's tournament game?
I should know this because I've watched parts of a bunch of them this week, but I don't know that it jumped out at me.
It didn't jump out because literally it says women's basketball in black block letters. They have gone generic. They not only are the women not allowed to use March Madness, they didn't come up with another slogan or logo or anything else. They literally just said women basketball. That's it. There you go. Basketball with women.
Okay, so now I'm Googling. Yeah, no, it doesn't say anything about it. Of course not. No. Nice work. Do you know Here's a trivia question for you. Do you know when the term March Madness was originally used and by who?
I don't. No. I'm trying to even come up with something here, and I got nothing.
The term March Madness was first used in reference to basketball by an Illinois high school official, Henry V. Porter, in 1939. And my understanding is that there is some kind of arrangement between the NCAA and Illinois to be able to, the state of Illinois can continue to use March Madness for their state basketball tournament because they did it first. Yeah.
I was just going to say, if there's an agreement between the NCAA and Illinois needs to renegotiate that agreement.
March Madness wouldn't become associated with the NCAA tournament until Brent Musburger used it during coverage in 1982.
Seems about right. And then somebody had to write a check to a family of a referee in Illinois. What are you watching this week?
We watched the first episode of Falcon. You watched that?
Yes, we did. Yep.
Do we do quick hitters on these? Thumbs up, thumbs down? We're going to Siskel and Ebert these things?
Oh, we can't do that. We can't afford. We can't. No.
Okay.
It's bad enough to say thumbs up, thumbs down. We're going to get sued for that. But then you literally said, "Are we going to rip off Siskel and Ebert?" Like that's just they're going to get all the DJ money. So we got to be careful about that. It's fine. It was. It's. I will say. I mean, they opened with a Marvel thing, and then the rest of it was, I think what we have to get used to with a number of these shows is they're going to slow play this stuff because this one has 6 hours or so to tell the story. So it's fine to slow play some, although I'm pretty sure, I mean, actually this is true. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the entire first season, I don't know if there's going to be more, that is shorter than the last two Avengers movie put together. Anyway, it was good. I'll keep watching it. Yes.
It's almost as long as Zack Snyder. A. And B, I don't know why I want to keep calling it The Falcon and the Winter Snowman.
Ooh. Yeah. I keep that's a deep cut to an 80s movie. Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Yes.
Uh-huh. I have done the same thing, however. And what's odd is I haven't even watched that movie, and I'm still it's a little too close. Yeah.
And very, very different than WandaVision, which I liked. Again, really liked WandaVision, but you're right. They're slow playing it. It's 3 movies long, Yes. Yep. So we'll see where we go. So what do you got? What else you got this week?
Let's see. So we watched Falcon, still way into the English train videos on YouTube. We're seeing all of the least used stations in every county, in England. Yep. I was going to ask you if you have seen this, and then there's part of me thinking, do I only know about this because you told me about it? Speaking of WandaVision, there is a behind the scenes, the making of WandaVision featurette on Disney Plus. Did you tell me about that?
Yeah, I may have. I don't know that we talked about it on the podcast, but I think we may have talked about it.
So we watched that.
It's great. Yep, really enjoyed that. Especially all of the special effects that they used. And like for the Bewitched one, they used the special effects they would have used on Bewitched. It was great.
Yeah, including putting like plates on strings hanging from the ceiling, because that's what they did.
And the guy who did the special effects started out apprenticing. Did you catch this part? Yeah. Started out apprenticing underneath the guy who actually did that special effects work on Bewitched. So he was really excited. If you liked WandaVision, you definitely have to go catch this thing.
so that's good to watch. And then another show that we watch has come back, the Great Food Truck Race on the Food Network, I believe. So it's they get a bunch of people who've never run a food truck before and give them brand new. They keep saying we're going to give you a brand new food truck. I mean, I think what they should say is it's brand new to you, but they've got problems. And congratulations. And then they go around, they travel around and do challenges, and whoever makes the most money moves on or whatever. And this one, clearly somebody, the host or the executive producer, wanted to go to Alaska, because this one all takes place in Alaska, but it doesn't take place in Alaska during the summer when people are there. Instead, I'm guessing they shot this probably in October. So they keep pointing out how low the temperature is while they're trying to do all of this stuff. So now it's food truck versus nature. Anyway, we're watching it.
The Great Food Truck Race. I was thinking that maybe this was RuPaul's Food Truck Race, where these people get the trucks and then they dress them up and put makeup on and extra wigs and, cinch. And I don't know.
Pat it. They pat it.
They pat it. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
The other way to think about this is instead of it being a cooking competition show that happens to take place in food trucks, it could also be the newest version of the Cannonball Run. But instead of using Ferraris and Lamborghinis, everybody just gets in big food trucks. And just driving across the country, trying to get across as fast as they possibly can, while also serving delicious kimchi out of the back of the truck.
See, I have not watched this show, and you put this title in the rundown, and I went, 24 Hours of Le Mans? I don't know.
Oh, that would be awesome, right? Like you just keep driving around, and then you gotta, I mean, the one, yeah.
Pit stop, serve a euro. Out you go.
See, that's the difference, right? In most races, the car comes in so that the crew can service the car. In this one, the truck comes in to feed the crew, and then off you go again. And the fun part is that you've got to be cooking while going around the banking of Daytona for 24 hours. I'm so tired. I can't make any more fries. You know what? I think we've got a hit on our hands.
This is $1 million idea right here, man. I'm telling
you. We need to not put this on the podcast, and we need to start. Well, we need a production company to start doing this. So, what did you learn this week?
We moved into our house a little more than 4 years ago. When we did, we put a new TV down in the basement. Bought a new TV from Best Buy. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's crystal clear when you watch Trubisky throw an interception. I mean, you can see the rotation on that ball. Sorry, too soon? Anyway, sorry. Please continue.
Hey, at least somebody caught it. The Go Bills. This week we went downstairs just to watch something. I don't know. Well, we went downstairs to watch basketball, and then we were done watching basketball. So we were going to jump over and watch something else, like perhaps RuPaul, which we're watching on Paramount Plus. I went to load the CBS app, and it said, "Oh, this app doesn't work anymore. You need to load the Paramount Plus app." Nope. This TV doesn't have the Paramount Plus app. It's a smart TV, but not so smart. Doesn't have the Paramount Plus app. So I get on the horn and I call Samsung support. Yeah, no, that TV's too old. It's 4.5 years old. That TV's too old, and it's not going to.
And you're not asking for it to do surround sound.
Nope.
Or can you give me ultra high definition? You're literally saying the thing that's plugged into the internet, can you put an app on the TV to replace an app that is already there?
Right.
Can't possibly do that.
Every other Samsung TV that I have in my house has the app. frankly automatically updated itself. The one in the living room automatically updated. Boom, it was just there from one day to the next, CBS to Paramount. I didn't even have to do anything. For a while, it had the same problem with Hulu. Now, eventually, it does now run Hulu Live. But for the longest time, it just ran the version of Hulu that played the on-demand stuff.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Even though I was paying for the live stuff and could get it on the live stuff everywhere else in the house. So, what else couldn't I? Oh, Apple TV. Wouldn't load Apple TV. Has never loaded Apple TV. So I get on the internet and I start looking at Rokus, because if I put a Roku on it, I can load anything I want and I can just run everything.
Including Tubi.
Including Tubi. So then I started looking at Roku sound bars, because it would be really nice to have a sound bar down there, right? I mean, I've got an older sound bar down there, but I could move it to a different TV and get a new sound bar that's the Roku version that's got it all built in, and that would be okay. So I'm looking at that, and it's about $129. Well, the upgrade one's $150, and I'm like, you know what's already sitting on the console below the TV is Lucas's PS4, which is
do you know what a PS4 can run? Apps.
All of that. All of that. So I fired it up. I figured out at one point I had a PS4 account, login, whatnot, figured out what the password was, reset it, logged in, loaded every single one of those apps. And I now have a new state. It's a PS4, so it's not exactly state of the art, but it's good enough for me to watch anything that I want to off of the PS4. And I texted Lucas this. He's like, well, it's nice that it's actually getting some use. And I learned all of that, plus using a PS4 controller as a remote control.
I was going to ask about that, actually. Yeah, I had some questions.
I learned that's very, very difficult.
Oh, you want to watch Paramount? Oh, that's circle, square, triangle, triangle, L2, L3, left joystick, R2, PS button. How do you not remember that? It's just that easy.
It's just that easy. Seriously, that you're not.
This is intuitive navigation.
And you were only slightly exaggerating for effect there. Let's just clear that up. Oh, so
here's the other thing I was just thinking of is here's how that conversation could also go. Hey, how do I get into HBO Max? Okay, you know the move in Call of Duty when you jump, roll, pop back up, go into a combat crouch, scope, and fire. It's that, but from the main screen. What? Why are you looking at me that way? I assumed you knew. It's the same combination.
That works. How about you? What'd you learn?
So here's something fun. In addition to all the other work that is or is not going on in my yard, I decided that I needed to do some work on the in-ground irrigation system. Yes. So
to water your fake grass? Sorry, go ahead.
yes, and
okay.
There is some water that's going towards the fake grass to help combat the smell. But we're also putting in some more. We're also putting in some more plants and parts of the, some other. We're extending where the plant's going, so I need to extend the irrigation system, et cetera, et cetera. So even if you put in water-wise plants, you still, yeah.
Well, and if you water the fake grass, that can cool it down enough so that your dogs can walk on it when it's 125 degrees out and not burn their little paws.
That's true, but now what you've just pointed out to me is that's true, which will then lead to them using it more, which will lead to more smell. Oh, I may have just created a vicious cycle. I got to think about this. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
So I have an existing system going through the backyard. I dig up some of it, and then I got to go buy some adapters. I got to cut into it. And this is instead of being rigid pipe, this is flexible black poly pipe. And what I learned while going to get stuff to tie into my existing system, I learned a couple of things about this black flexible poly pipe. Number one, it comes in two sizes measured by the outside diameter of the tube. One of the sizes is 0.700 inches. So 7/10 of an inch is the outside diameter. The other one is 0.710. It is 1/100th of an inch bigger than the other size. There's only two sizes, and they are 100th of an inch apart.
Seriously, who decided this is a good idea?
Somebody who was making poly pipe, and somebody else went, we can improve on that. You know what? This one's going to go, it's 100th of an inch bigger. Here's the second thing I learned. Do you know how to tell them apart? Sometimes a blue stripe is printed on the 0.710 pipe.
Sometimes?
Some manufacturers put a blue stripe on the bigger pipe. And by bigger, I mean 1/100th of an inch bigger in diameter.
Imperceptible to the naked eye.
Yes.
True?
Yes. But perceptible to because this carries pressurized water. So when you cut it and you put a joint in, all of the joints, they don't get any, because it's flexible, there's no cement. It is all held together with just friction. So if you have a 0.710 connection and put a 0.700 pipe into it, not immediately, but eventually, you will no longer have a watertight connection. What you will have is a small version of what the Bellagio has out front. But it won't happen immediately, and it could take a couple of weeks, well after you've buried it in your yard. On the other hand, at that point, it will no longer be buried. So it's very important for you to know exactly the diameter of pipe that you have buried in your yard. However, not all of the pipe has the blue stripe on it. So then it says other manufacturers print the diameter directly on the hose, on the pipe, but not all. So
right.
I have some flexible black pipe buried in my yard that goes to hooking up a number of sprinkler drip systems and all of this that has no markings.
No stripes?
No stripes. And I have to tell whether it is 1/100th of an inch bigger or smaller by looking at it, so I know what fittings to go buy. Oh, and by the way, if you buy the wrong kind, which I did, and you put it on the pipe,
spoiler alert,
which I did, even if you get the big compression, the big fitting for the small pipe, it won't stay watertight, but you can't remove it. So the only way to get that off is to take the pipe cutter and cut that section of the pipe off and then try another fitting. You do that too many times, you're going to need some more pipe. So anyway, I would like to thank the irrigation industry for making two sizes of pipes completely indistinguishable for each other, 1/100th of an inch apart for reasons that nobody can explain, and not making any standards around it whatsoever. That was a good use of multiple trips to Home Depot. So there you go.
The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. It's available on Incompetech.com under a Creative Commons Attribution license. You can subscribe to Talking to Todd anywhere you get your pods. Just search Talking and the number 2, no G, no space. If you don't like the one you're listening to, try Overcast or Apple Podcast or Spotify and even Podbean. We have a page on Facebook. You can also check out our award-winning merch on Zazzle. You can tweet at us at talkingtotodd.com. As Todd referenced earlier in the show, you can leave us a voicemail at 515, also CPA. That's 515-257-6272. You can join us on our corporate retreat at the Tuba City home office coming up just as soon as we all get vaccinated. The website is talkingtotodd.com. Thanks to our listeners. We hope you enjoyed this week. I know we enjoyed this week so much more than we did last week. So hopefully you enjoyed it. So tell your friends. Send us your feedback at talkingtotodd.com. Todd?
I have 6 more jokes that I would like to make in reference to jokes that we've made earlier that are never, ever going to air. So I'm going to write them down and I'm going to send them on a postcard and mail them to you.
Do those jokes have anything to do with laying pipe?
Amongst other things, yes.
Oh, on that note, we've been talking to Todd. It's just too bad that RuPaul's Drag Trucks is never going to air.
I don't know. Rue's looking at expanding his empire. That could be something.